Hello, what's going on, peeps? It's the Flying Pig here on Flying Pig United. Good afternoon, everybody. We're here for another cheeky little news show, transfer news rundown of what's going on at Manchester United, and just a little bit of the latest reaction and updates from post-game last night, etc. Thank you, everyone, for getting in here, waiting for us to get going. You're a bunch of legends. Let's see who's in here. We've got Mr. Matty Gwynner. Good to see you, my son. Boom, 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 indeed. Malps. Johnny M, Chris Barker, Dynamic Melon, United We Stand, Martin Carlo, Stephanie Griffith, Boomy, Uncaged Squid, Mr. Primot, Batman Night Fan, yes lad, great to see you, Dynamic Melon, Berber, Beats Guy, thank you, great to see you also, and yes, do as he says guys, and like the video, thank you very much Beats Guy. Yeah, everybody do us a favour, smash that like button at the start of this show, give us a raw filthy thumbs up, share us around on social media if you want as well, that'd be awesome. You can give us a retweet on Twitter, it's pinned to the top of the live chat there, so feel free to give us a cheeky little retweet, that would be much appreciated, and share it anywhere else you want as well, scream it from the rooftops, etc. Thank you all for joining. Avram Glazer, you can get out though. Mikhail Kramer, Jay, they call me Mr. Williams, everyone, Neil Walker, thank you so much guys and gals for getting in here, and everybody else as well, appreciate you all joining. Plenty to get into today. As always, smash a like on this video at the start, subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel, and if you're on catch up later watching this back, feel free to get your thoughts and opinions in down below in the not live comment section, and keep the debate going there, peeps. Oh yes, indeed. And click the bell icon for notifications. Good stuff. Let's get stuck in then, folks. So, obviously, we played Dortmund last night. We were on late night, or early morning, I should say, to do the watch-along. It was gash, wasn't it? Let's be honest. The performance from Manchester United wasn't great. I mean, it was an interesting spectacle of football. I guess it was a 3-2 game. Better than losing 1-0, I suppose. At least we did score a couple of goals. And obviously, Dallow's goal was absolutely lovely. It was a peach right into the top bins. But overall, a very sloppy performance by Manchester United. Very sloppy defensively. Yeah, it wasn't our first team out there to begin with. Let's be honest, it was the B/C squad to start the game. But that's Ten Hag's doing. Obviously wanted to play that team, give the chance for these players to get a run out, I suppose. And he felt like maybe that was good enough to get the job done. It wasn't to be the way, unfortunately. And even the second half, when we brought the big guns on, wasn't really good enough. Just want to talk about that game for a couple of minutes, then we will get into the transfer news. But really, the takeaway from the game for me is that United just look so sloppy defensively. We can't keep going forward with people like Harry Maguire at the club. He's just an absolute guff bag in terms of his overall defensive abilities. Lindelof was a shambles as well alongside him. Those two are like Pinky and Perky next to each other, playing like a bunch of little cartoon pigs or whatnot. It's a disgrace. So those two just not really up to it. Obviously, Lindelof's just going to be a backup, but Maguire's on 200 grand a week at United, so we got to sack this guy off and get rid. But that's my takeaway, was the defensive performance was poor. Brandon Williams wasn't very good. It was just not a very good defensive display at all from Manchester United throughout the entire game. Midfield-wise, we're lacking there. We could definitely do with bringing Sofiane AMRABAT in as soon as possible there to help sort of get that play going, to keep hold of the ball a little bit better. I was very impressed with Donny van de Beek. He deserves a big bit of credit, actually, for his performance. Other than that, the midfield was very subpar. McTominay captaining the side. What an absolute shortbread, iron brew loving melter. He was rubbish in that game, wasn't he? Oh, my goodness me. Captaining the side. Taking over that armband from Captain Gashtastic himself, Slabo Maguire, and doing it with pride, because it was a similar sort of display. Another invisible performance from Shotty McShotbag. But Donny van de Beek in the midfield, I think, had a great game. I personally think Donny van de Beek probably, based on his pre-season, deserves a chance again. I was thinking, just cash in, get rid. We know Real Sociedad are interested in him. Maybe he will be sold. And maybe this was just an exercise from Ten Hag to put these guys in the shop window to maybe get a little bit more cash for them, or to get some interest in these players. So that's possible. But honestly, Donny van de Beek, from what I've seen, the range of passing, the short passing, the control of the passing is much better than a lot of what we've got in the side. So what's your thoughts on Donny, guys? Keep or sell? For me, right now, he's not, let's be honest, he's never really had major chances at the club. In pre-season, he's changed my mind a little bit just with his consistent performances. I'd say keep him now, actually. Just for now, it doesn't mean we're going to keep him for beyond January or beyond the summer next season. But for right now, he has earned himself a chance. He's earned himself a chance, I think. So it's more likely I'd rather sell the likes of McTominay and Fred and these guys at this stage. Keeps as Ryan and Brian, keeps as Neil, keeps as Stephanie and Massey, keeps as Danny, sells as Killer Combo, keeps as Stacey, sells as United. Yeah, fair enough. Still a bit mixed there. I mean, he's obviously kind of only going to be a backup anyway. He's only going to really realistically be a backup. But I think with his performances in pre-season, he's probably earned himself at least a chance. Keeps as the Hoop Man, keeps as Stoic. Give him a chance as the Don Gungshi. Absolutely. Give him a cheeky little chance, I say. I'm with you as well. Thank you very much there, Gungshi. So Donny was a highlight from the game. Palistri obviously looked very good in the first half as well. Was impressed with him. There's a couple of players I also want to talk about, so just before we move on, but some of the subpar displays out there. Maybe I was a bit harsh on Sancho last night, but still ineffective. He's not playing in his favoured position, though, so we'll give him a break, maybe. Ten Hag said some quotes about Jadon Sancho today, actually, just to pop that up on the screen. Or not today, last night after the game. Quoted talking about Jadon Sancho, and he said that Sancho is in very good vibe. I expect a lot. He has a lot of energy. We have all seen that from the moment he came back. And he also said, I will not say that Harry Maguire isn't part of this group. He has to fight for his position. He's a very good centre-back. Right, okay. But just on Jadon Sancho, yes. I mean, Jadon Sancho, he just didn't really cover himself in glory. I thought he was, again, pretty inconsistent with his level of performance. His passing was pretty poor. But he did get himself around. He is looking a bit sharper, I suppose. But I was a little bit disappointed with his overall display. One of the takeaways from the game for me last night is Marcus Rashford. Now, obviously he had a great season last season. He's got his big, fat, juicy money contract. £300,000 a week. Huge new deal for the lad. And so far, since he signed that new contract, he's been shite. Let's be fair. He came on in that second half. Billy Big Bollocks extraordinaire himself coming on, trying to do the whole thing himself, trying to dribble it around their entire defence. Pass the ball, Marcus. You know, that was my takeaway from him. I hope Ten Hag pulled him to a side at the end of the game and said, listen, lad, you are a good player. You do make things happen, but let's play the bloody simple pass, please. Because there was many times where he's got in a good position in the wide areas where he could have just played a simple pass in. And he's just trying to do everything himself. He's keeping hold of it. He's trying to take people on. It was very, very frustrating to see. He needs to start learning how to get rid of the ball and pass it. Especially now we've just gone and signed €85 million Rasmus Hojlund. And he's going to be coming into play up top there. Just think about how infuriating it would be for a new striker coming in. You're not getting any service whatsoever because you've got somebody being very selfish on the left-hand side. Rashford's a great player, we know that. And he's not sharp at the moment. It's pre-season. Of course, it's going to take some time for him to get his act together, just like it is for a lot of these players. They're not in their finest form at this moment in time, that's for sure. We've just lost 3 games in a row. And just the fitness and sharpness isn't there. It's only pre-season. But come on, that level of selfishness on display by Rashford needs to stop. He's got to pass the ball, guys. Got to pass the ball. So I was a little bit frustrated with Marcus's second half performance there, coming on and doing very little. But he's a quality player. But we just need to start playing together and playing the simple pass and being more of a team. And, you know, it was very disappointing to see that in the second half anyway. Other than that, guys, I mean, yes, Anthony was sloppy throughout the game, but he did get himself a goal. That's kind of the story of Anthony's time at United so far, is sloppy but effective. So, yes, I'd say man of the match for the game last night was actually Donny van der Beek for me. I was very impressed with that guy, and I think he does deserve a chance. Just on the game and the fallout of the game, so you probably wonder, where is Garnacho and where is Rafael Varane? Well, we do have an update, essentially, that says that Alejandro Garnacho and Rafael Varane were left out of Man United squad to face Borussia Dortmund for precautionary reasons. So maybe just picking up a little bit of a knock in the previous game, you know, just to make sure these guys don't get injured, essentially, because let's face it, particularly Rafael Varane is a very injury-prone guy, so it's obviously nice to maybe not ask too much of him too quickly, too soon in pre-season, because we don't want the guy to get injured. So just from a precautionary point of view, hopefully he didn't have an injury or didn't have a knock or anything, but from a precautionary point of view, he was he was obviously rested. Hey, Lily Gamer, get in there, you legendess. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for joining us. How are you today? Berber says he has no IQ, doesn't know when to pass. Yeah, Rashford, unfortunately, his footballing IQ wasn't on display last night. I think that's a fair comment from you, the Berber lad. Yeah, just wasn't there, was it? Definitely. I mean, not to say he can't do it. Many headless chickens have been coached into good players. I always use the example of Raheem Sterling over at City when, obviously before that, Raheem Sterling was the definition of a headless chicken. He could take it forward down the byline, he could get in advanced positions, but when he got there, deer in the headlights, couldn't get a final ball off, not very good at all. But in regards to Pep Guardiola coaching him, when Pep Guardiola got a hold of him and coached him, he made him much better player because he made him, he educated him on what to do, when to do it. So I think Rashford needs that coaching into him. He needs Ten Hag and the coaching staff to just highlight some of these issues. Highlight some of these issues that Marcus Rashford is doing out there by being a bit selfish, isn't he? Lily Gamer, thank you for your highlighted member comment. Let's get a hashtag 18 in there for Lily Gamer, you legend. Get in there, Lily. Absolute true Don S of the channel. Hope you're mending up well. Much love. Let's get some love hearts in there for Lily Gamer. 18 months, a legend S of the channel. Are you going to be coming here talking about Chelsea's trophy? Hey, Lily Gamer, good to see you, though. Thank you so much for being a member for a year and a half on the channel. That's immense. Absolutely immense. Really appreciate that and good to see you. Thank you so much for that, for supporting this channel for all that time. By the way, guys, we've got 200 legends in here. Let's see if we can get 200 likes on this stream. Smash the like button if you're just getting in here. We're nearly at 100 likes. Drop a little thumbs up. It helps us boost up on the algorithm and helps YouTube know that you're liking the show, and myself too. So drop a little thumbs up on it if you haven't done so. That would be immense. Let's talk about some Ten Hag quotes really quickly. So just a couple of different opinions and thoughts that have come out from Erik Ten Hag here. He said, as I say, on Sancho, that, he feels like he's in a good vibe at the moment. He expects a lot from him. We all do. We're all expecting more this season from Jadon Sancho. He's got to do more. He's also talked about Harry Kane briefly as well, guys. So this is quite interesting. So he was asked about the Harry Kane situation or his thoughts on Harry Kane. And this is what he said about Harry Kane. He said, Ten Hag on Harry Kane. He said, I have huge respect because he's a great striker. One of the best ever. Maybe he can even be the best striker ever in the Premier League. Oh, guys, this makes me feel a tingling sensation deep down in the loins, guys. It really does. I mean, no, obviously we've gone and got Rasmus Hojlund right. And we spent a lot of money on him. But if we can maybe get a bit of cash back from some of these cash players we can sell, just maybe there's an outside chance that we could go and get him before the end of the window. I don't know. What is that? I'm reading maybe a bit too much into this. I'll be totally honest, guys. He says maybe he can even be the best striker ever in the Premier League. You what? You what? So what does that insinuate? Well, he'd have to stay in the Premier League to go down as the best striker in Premier League history, wouldn't he? If he's going to go and beat Alan Shearer's goal-scoring record, and he's never won a Premier League title, so he'd have to win a couple of those to be considered one of the best strikers ever in the Premier League, wouldn't he? I mean, he already is, to be fair, from his goal-scoring record. But goodness me, I mean, this just tingles the loins a little bit there in regards to Harry Kane. Ten Hag just hinting at the fact maybe that he's interested in trying to bring him in. Maybe just hinting at the fact that that's the case. I mean, obviously, we're clutching at straws a little bit here because we know that Bayern are the team that are interested in signing Harry Kane right now. But it just tingles my loins a little bit when I hear Ten Hag talking about him in this fashion. And we have just got some news about Manchester United doing a deal with Adidas. So let me get this up on the screen here as well. We've spent quite a lot of money already. The Glazer shithouses are still here. There's lots of ifs, ands, buts and maybes as to what could happen. Richard Arnold says the relationship between Manchester United and Adidas is one of the most iconic in world sport, forged through a shared commitment to style, flair, and most importantly, high performance. And then it's known that we've signed a new deal essentially with Adidas, which is going to generate the club a guarantee of £900 million. So official, Man United's new agreement with Adidas has a minimum cash guarantee of £900 million, subject to certain adjustments. So, obviously this big deal they've got with the kits and the merchandise and all this sorts of stuff, it's generating Manchester United a heck of a lot of cash. Now, we can get into the whole Glazers in, Glazers out talk, but let's just forget that and shelve that for a moment. This is big money that will be coming into the football club over a series of years. This is big money that Manchester United should be able to go and reinvest and spend on big players. Now, financial fair play, in my opinion, is and not just in my opinion, but is based on how much you can actually generate. It's also, it's designed to keep you within your means. So if you're generating 900 million over a deal, that gives you another 900 million to spend essentially over a certain period of years. But, so in terms of financial fair play and what Man United could spend, we could spend a heck of a lot of money to bring in players this summer. Potentially, Harry Kane could be a target for United at the end of the season. This is obviously big wishful thinking, but that's what we should be doing. As I said many times, United should have the ambition to go and get somebody like Kane as well as Hojlund. Hojlund's great for a couple of years' time and probably will be fantastic for us now. But Harry Kane is the mutt's nuts right now. He's the dog's bollocks right now, isn't he? To come in and do the job for us right now as well. And who doesn't want different variations? I mean, Spurs are open to selling this guy because he's got a year left on his contract. They don't want to lose this guy for nothing. They need to sell him this summer, really. Bayern Munich are in charge of the proceedings at the moment. Of course, we know that they're the ones having the deals and the negotiations with them. So we actually do have another report here that says that up in the air, Bayern CEO Jan Christian Driesen, and Marco Neppi, technical director, are now on the way to London for negotiations. Bayern want to make the transfer of Harry Kane perfect with Tottenham boss Daniel Levy. So they are in discussions right now to sign him. But that doesn't mean that Man United won't go in for Harry Kane at a later stage or once that agreement's perhaps been made between Bayern and Tottenham. It just means that United are going to have to probably break Bayern's bid and outdo them and pay somewhere close to £100 million, which is crazy money really for a player with 1 year left on his deal. But to get the guy would be absolutely immense, wouldn't it? Smash a one if you think we should do our best to sign Harry Kane. Smash a one if you think we should do our best to sign Harry Kane this summer. If he goes to Bayern, it would be a big shame. I just love those quotes from Eric Ten Hag because it does allude to the fact that, maybe we could be trying to bring him into the football club if the opportunity presents itself. And there's just some reports from Ten Hag about Manchester United needing to invest as well in certain players as well. We've got to try and invest some cash in the team. And Ten Hag's quoted and speaking about the transfer situation as well last night. He said this. He said, "I'm totally involved, but you have seen all the investments which other clubs are making. You can't compete in the Premier League for the top positions when you don't invest in your squad." And so obviously we have invested in the squad a fair bit, but he's talking about mass investment, big investment into the squad. And just comments like this from Ten Hag about the transfer setup. "I'm totally involved. You have seen the investments which other clubs are making, and we can't compete in the Premier League in the top positions when you don't invest in your squad." It just alludes to the fact that he's looking for big investment from Man United for the Ten Hag era to try and compete for the top spot. And I don't think anybody could deny that if Man United were to get Harry Kane as well as Hojlund and AMRABAT and Onana and Mount this summer, I don't think anybody could deny that Ten Hag should be expected to try and challenge for the title. With that level of investment and those sorts of quality players coming in, United would be expected to challenge for the Premier League title. So he obviously wants that squad capable of doing that, and it's putting extra pressure on himself, but that's what he wants. He wants to try and actually have a go of it. And if we're not going to be able to compete with City from a personnel point of view in the squads, how are we actually expected to compete with them out there points-wise in the Premier League table? Let's be honest, they do have a better squad than us right now. But if we added Hojlund and Kane up top there, and you've got a front line of people like, Sancho, Rashford, Kane, Hojlund, all these guys who could be in contention, Anthony, of course, for the starting spots. Crikey, we've gone and got ourselves a great set of goal scorers there. So I think obviously we could try and challenge for the title with a signing like Kane. But without Kane, how can we be expected to challenge for the title this season? Kane scored 30 goals last year. Haaland scored 36. It's a similar amount of goals. Haaland would probably score less for Spurs and Kane would probably score more for City. And if we could add that level of goals to Manchester United's forward line, we would be in a chance of maybe competing for the Premier League. So that's the sort of signing... that's the sort of thing that a signing like Kane would do, obviously, is to make Manchester United great again. So I just hope we can maybe do it, guys. It's very unlikely still at this stage that Man United could sign him. There's varying factors. Kane is a an expensive signing, not just the transfers, but the wages. We'd have to sell a lot of players and get their wages off of our books and generate transfer fee probably in order to actually go out there and spend the money on him. And also it depends on what Spurs want to do and what Harry Kane wants to do. Who knows what Harry Kane wants to do? Does he want to go and join a Premier League rival after being a Spurs legend? Or does he want to stay in the Premier League and cement himself as one of the greatest strikers, like Ten Hag says, ever in the Premier League? It's a big if and or but. By the way, we've got a super chat here from You Viewed. I missed it. Sorry, You Viewed. Let's get some love in the chat there, please. For You Viewed, guys, who sent in a raw super chat here, lad. Thank you so much. He says, United like bonsai tree Dutch Miyagi, improving football team's roots, and let's hope the new owners can help him teach the wax on, wax off for Rashford-san. Get in there. He does need to learn how to paint the fence, old Marcus Rashford, doesn't he? He needs the basics. He needs to learn the basics. The old wax on, wax off and paint the fence. 100% agree with you, lad. Needs to get back to basics, that guy. Thank you very much there, You Viewed. I appreciate you, dude. That's awesome. Thank you so much for that super chat there, lad. Also, we got a highlighted comment from Matt Gwinnett, guys. Thank you so much, Matt Gwinnett, for being a member for 1 year here, lad. Come on. Guys, let's get a love heart in the chat for Matt Gwinnett. He's been a supporter for a whole year now. Thank you so much, Matt Gwinnett. I appreciate that, dude. He says, loving the channel. Thank you very much, Matt Gwinnett. Says, we need Kane to teach our wingers how to assist and stop being selfish. I worry Hojlund will be left in the usual graveyard shift. Hey, great point there, Matt Gwinnett. Fair play. I mean, listen, there's obviously a big difference in play we're going to have having Harry Kane in the side. We actually do need to provide service to our forwards. We haven't seen that in recent weeks or even recent seasons. The forward players are getting poor service from the wide players, definitely. And we need to improve upon that, absolutely. What's the point of having Harry Kane, who's a fantastic finisher and a beast with his movement in the box, if we can't actually get the ball to him? That's a very good point you make. Like, we're going to have to learn how to actually get the ball into the striker better. We're not very good at that. Spot on. I agree with you completely. So yeah, Hojlund, well, I don't know. I'm not so worried about that. I think United need strength in depth up there. So Harry Kane, if we signed him, would of course be the daddy when it comes to his position in the team. He's going to be the number 9, essentially, the striker. He's going to be the first choice striker, and Hojlund would have to play second fiddle there and be the second choice striker. But you do need 2 top strikers minimum to cover all the games that we've got and to come on later on in games when, you know, you've got conditioning issues and rotation issues and injuries to cover. You need to have 2 top quality strikers in this day and age. You used to need 3 or 4, but now, certainly with the way the teams are playing, you look at how United play with usually 1 proper out-and-out striker at the top there with other wide players in there. You need at least 2, probably 3 if we're being totally honest, but we could probably make do with playing Rashford as a third-choice striker or Martial even as a third-choice striker. But you certainly, in my opinion, need 2 boss strikers. Certainly we will, to challenge the likes of Manchester City to the title. So, yeah, I mean, Kane will probably be the first guy, obviously, but then Hojlund behind him. Plus, you have to remember, Hojlund's young. Hojlund needs time to adapt and develop anywhere. I think we might be expecting a little bit too much from Rasmus Hojlund in his first season if we expect him to, you know, go up there and match the likes of Haaland and Kane right now. It's not going to happen. He's going to struggle to get the amount of goals they do 100% because of his adaptation period in the Premier League and his age, and he's still learning, actually. He's only 20. He might be physically very good, but what you need to do is compare him to players like Kane when he was 20, or Haaland when he was 20. I know Haaland was scoring a lot of goals when he was 20, but he wasn't doing it in the Premier League. And Kane when he was 20 was shy. You know what I'm saying? Well, no, he wasn't shy, but he wasn't the prolific goal scorer that he is right now, where he's banged 30 Premier League goals. So you've got to give these guys a chance to develop, and obviously I think Hojlund will be playing that second role if we were to sign Harry Kane. It's obviously completely hypothetical at this moment in time. Plus, they're different sort of players as well. That's really what I like about it. You've got your fire and ice up there. Hojlund's your big, strong, physical, quick guy, super quick, getting behind, as well as good in the build-up play as well. But Kane is a different sort of a striker. He relies on his cunning and his movement. He's not the quickest. He's not the strongest. But he's, he's reasonably tall. He's got a great heading ability, finishing ability, in the box, outside the box. His movement is second to none, in my opinion, in the final third. He's also good dropping deep and getting involved in the build-up play as well, and he can play a good pass, assist, etc. So they're different sorts of players. So we need both of those guys in order to really do the proper job that we need this season and challenge for the title. Avram Glazer super chat says, new owner, you can't read between the lines. Sell off. Get out, mate. Can we get hashtag Glazers out in the chat for this pranny in the live chat? What's your problem there, my son? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if the sale is off. If we're generating 900 million from Adidas and we've got Champions League football, it looks like the Glazers shithouses are reluctant to release their stranglehold of Man United at this moment in time. We're not going to get onto that just now because it's just too infuriating and nothing else has actually changed right now in regards to that sale situation. We're still waiting for more updates. We're still hoping for Sheikh Jassim or whoever to come in and buy the football club. But as of right now, the Glazers don't want to release their stranglehold. It's very, very frustrating. Yep, Glazers out, guys. Absolutely. Shh. Just go away. Go away, mate. Oh, Don Gungshi, get in there, my son. Oh, Gungshi Leone. Gungshi has become a new member of the channel. You what? Long-time legend of this channel has become a sausage soldier. Gungshi, thank you so much for re-upping your membership there, lad. What a bloody hero. Guys, everybody get some mad love in the live chat there for Don Gungshi Leone, who is a new member of the channel, one of the longest serving members of the channel, as you can see with his Don hat next to him. That hat is reserved for people who have been members for over 3 years. He's rejoined the membership. He's re-upped his membership. Gungshi says, had to rejoin. Thank you, Gungshi, for rejoining, lad. And yes, you're an absolute bloody hero. I appreciate that. Thank you very much there, Don Gungshi. You absolute Don. Gungshi's a legend. Absolutely he is. Big love to Don Gungshi, one of the longest legends of this channel. Absolute long schlong Don. Thank you so much, Gungshi. Hero, lad. Guys, if you're just getting in the stream, once again, smash the like button. Let's have a little like spike. Help us get to 200 likes on the stream today. Spread the word around. Boost us up in the algorithm. Help us compete with clickbaiters and corporation monstrosities by hitting that thumbs up button on the stream. It's free to do so. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, it's free to do so. Okay, so Ten Hag quotes on the transfer saying that Man United need big investment. I love those quotes on Harry Kane, guys, from Ten Hag as well, just alluding to the fact maybe that he'd like to try and get him. It would be a shame to see this guy go from the Premier League. It really would. Man United's the most realistic side for him to sign for within the Premier League because we need somebody like that. And it's not a London rival and City aren't going to have him with Haaland there, etc. So United, in my opinion, would be the only realistic place he would go within the Premier League. But can we afford him after spending what we spent? We'd probably have to sell the likes of Slavo Maguire, McTominay, Fred, Martial, maybe even Bailly, Henderson, all of these guys. But we could sell them, and maybe we could generate some of the money or most of the money or a lot of the money to sign Harry Kane. We could certainly pay for his wages just by getting rid of Martial and Harry Maguire. So it's not a problem, I don't think. We are a huge club. We should be able to do it. But it's still massively unlikely because of all those factors that it would require in order for us to actually go and do it. Plus, we do currently have the Glazers shithouses at the club right now. And would they be prepared to spend that amount of money on it? Okay, so also let's talk about this, guys. So Harry Kane is an exciting prospect, but it's quite unrealistic, I think, still at this stage. But Ten Hag's quotes there, he says, I have huge respect because he's a great striker, one of the best ever. Maybe he could even be the best striker in the Premier League. It makes me moist. Comments like this from Eric Ten Hag, guys. It really does. So hopefully we could go and get him, guys. I mean, let's have an ask of the live chat for a bit of fun. Yes or no? Let's have a vote. Do Man United even bother to try to sign Kane before the end of the transfer window this summer? Yes or no? What do you guys think? My opinion was kind of no previously, but I'm coming around. I'm coming around, guys. I'm thinking maybe we will have a little stab at it. Why not? We've got, obviously, players to sell. We've got money generating at the club. Why not? Look at this. Lots of yeses coming in. Quite a few no's. Gungshi says, hell yes. I mean, he can do an RVP, exactly, Chris Barker. Come over to the Premier League and win that Premier League title for Man United. I mean, come to United and win the Premier League title. That's what he can do. Lots of people saying no. Stay Gold says no. I completely understand. It's wishful thinking. It's still very unlikely. But maybe, just maybe, we could at least have a try. Bayern at this moment, though, they are leading the hunt for Harry Kane, and you can't get away from that, really. Can't get away from that. Okay, so just on that as well, guys, just on the game last night. These are obviously quotes surrounding the game last night, but on the game last night, let's talk about Onana. I didn't even talk about Onana, guys. I'm disappointed in myself. I was praising Donny and praising players, and I didn't even mention Onana. Onana in that second half was awesome, wasn't he? He was absolutely awesome. I thought it was fantastic how he played. Not just the shot stopping. He obviously made a couple of really great saves, but how he got up after saving that really good chance from Dortmund that Maguire shat. and let them in. And I loved how he got up and he barked right at Slabo Maguire, right in his face, a la Peter Schmeichel, getting right in there saying, you know what, Slab, that's his second game, by the way, and he's already going to tell the Slab, the previous captain of United, sort your fucking life out, Slabby. I loved it. I loved seeing that from him. Loved seeing that. That's the sort of mentality of players we want. People who expect the very best, and people aren't afraid to go and tell these tossers in front of him how to bloody perform and how to play and how to position themselves. You know, Andre Onana was furious with him. And that's what you love to see. It's a friendly, and he's giving Maguire a big telling off. That's what you want to see. I thought Onana was brilliant when he gave Slabo a telling off. And Andre Onana's quotes after the game as well, he was asked about it. And he said this on Harry Maguire, on shouting at Harry Maguire. He was asked and he said, I try to talk to them a lot because I know he's a good player. He's one of the captains of the team. That's big, and he is good with the ball. So I would demand from him a lot. And he's good. Great guy. He's a good, great guy. Okay, nice one, yeah. But no, you know, that is great quotes from Onana there. But also just love the fact that he's prepared to sort of marshal the back line. He's prepared to get in his face and say, sort your fucking self out there, Slabo. You know, straight away, that was within minutes of being on the pitch. Maguire's been an established player for years, the previous captain, and Onana's just come in, and he's not afraid to say what's up. That's what I love about Andre Onana's mentality. He seems to have an elite mentality already. So I'm loving that from him. And also, his performance in the second half was excellent. Like, his distribution, crikey, you don't see that from goalkeepers very often, where he's literally playing these ridiculous raking balls forward 70 yards and getting Manchester United in for goal-scoring opportunities. There's 3 occasions that he did that. Unfortunately, the control from our players were absolutely awful, and we couldn't get a chance from it because they were just terrible control. But the actual passes from Andre Onana to get them out, he was like a legit deep-lying playmaker last night in the second half. There was 3 different occasions where he smashed the ball forward to a pinpoint pass to a player many yards away, where he's got them in the final third, basically. Played Rashford in a couple of times, Bruno in once, you know, like his ability to get United going from the back in one quick, you know, direct long ball is unprecedented for a goalkeeper. I thought he was excellent. He did that a few times last night, so hopefully we see a lot more of that. It's certainly going to keep opposition defences on their toes, and it could lead to him getting a handful of assists this season for us. That's something that you can't really say for David De Gea. You know, you're lucky if he gets 1 assist a year. But in regards to Andre Onana, crikey, I've got a feeling he will get a bunch of assists this year, because those long balls from him were absolutely immense. And the vision that he's clearly got mad vision when it comes to playing those long balls out from the back. So it was fantastic to see that sort of passing, bypassing the whole team. You know, that's it. The ball can move quicker than the man, and one pass can move quicker than 5, 6, 7, 10, 12, 15 passes. And if he's got the ability to pluck those balls out, wait, that sounded a little bit wrong. But if he's got the ability to pluck those balls out from the back there and get United going in one fell swoop, it just goes to show you what sort of chances it could create for United this season. So he's got great vision. Loved his performance in the second half. It does bode well for United just seeing him play that way. Yeah, his long balls like Paul Scholes. I know, I was feeling the same way. Insane. And also not just his long balls on the ground. Like, obviously, playing it on the ground, you know, you've got that ability to keep the arc of the ball lower, right, when it's on the ground. But when he actually was playing it from his hands as well, playing it from his hands and still getting the same accuracy and insane long ball, sort of diagonal, you know, picking out his teammates with the ball in his hands, which you don't see very often. So I thought that was exceptional. Really good. Our wingers can't provide, so Onana's doing it exactly there, exactly. Onana, great bit of play from him, though, honestly. He played Rashford in twice, and unfortunately, both times, Rashford wasn't able to control the ball, which was very disappointing. But if he was able to control the ball, United could have been in on both of those occasions. So, yes, I agree. Vision expressed as Massey. Forward's weakest part of the team? Maybe so, maybe so. Mad vision, says James Whedon. Absolutely. So I thought Andre Onana was exceptional last night. Let's just ask you who you think your man of the match was for the game last night. You may have not watched it. You may have caught up on it today. We've got Michael Carrick in goal, says Berber. Let's ask the live chat who your man of the match was. I do think Donny van de Beek still shone the most. He actually did get 2 assists. I was ridiculously impressed with his performance, actually, because He was dogged. In fact, for Anthony's goal, he's just won the ball back out of nothing and got us 2 assists. So I was impressed with Donny, and his range of passing was very good. But it would be hard pressed to think of anybody other than Andre Onana as well. He was very impressive. Maguire says, Brian Foskett. Afternoon there, Billy. What's going on, lad? Palistri had a great first half as well. I was very impressed with him. Onana says, Adam Hanif. Palistri says, Chris Barker. Yeah, we did miss Alejandro, but I thought Palistri was excellent on that left-hand side. You fell asleep at half-time, says Berber. Fair play. I mean, you didn't miss too much. Donny says Massey. Onana, man of the match, says Jefferman. Jarvis Cocky, you legend. Get in there, my son. He says Palistri. Yeah, Palistri was exceptional when he was on the pitch. Very impressed by him. He definitely deserves many chances from Erik ten Hag this season, and nice to see him shining like that. But I was very impressed with Donny van der Beek, how he just managed to, keep the ball, play those nice simple passes, tick it over for us in midfield, and the 2 assists obviously helped as well. But I thought Donny was very, very good. Everyone else except Donny was poor, says Adam Hanif. I think Palistri was good. Onana was good. Johnny says Onana, man of the match. Anyone but Slabby, maybe Onana. So yeah, my brother was at the game, wasn't he? And we were talking to my brother at half-time and also at full-time. And he thought that Maguire played a really good game last night. I don't know if he was trolling. Maybe he was just trolling us, guys. Don't know, because I personally thought Maguire again just showed what a liability he can be. He wasn't bad for the first opening 45 minutes, apart from a couple of key moments, statuesque for the first goal that they scored, and completely out of position and in no man's land for the second. And then in the second half, there would have been maybe a third goal quicker before their actual third goal, if it wasn't for Andre Onana making a fantastic save. And as I say, Andre Onana barking at Harry Maguire after that incident because Maguire's made a horrendous mistake and a terrible judgment. So I thought Maguire was a complete liability yet again. We've got to sell this guy, try and get him gone. Trolling or trolleyed? Well, both actually you are. Yeah, my brother was in Las Vegas. He was a bit worse for wear. He sounded pissed out of his head, bless him. But why not? He's in Vegas, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, he was at the game and he was watching it, and he said that he thought Maguire had a really good first half. But hey, look, I thought he probably did have a decent half. Apart from, this is the definition of Harry Maguire. He looked solid throughout much of a game, but in serious moments, in key moments of the game, he melts. And he's not consistent enough throughout 90 minutes. There's always an error or 2 or 3 in Harry Maguire in a 90 minutes. In fact, he almost scored an OG with that header, didn't he? From the corner. He hit the woodwork with his big slab. Almost scored an own goal, the guy. So Harry Maguire just proving what an absolute liability that he is. Thomas the Slabby Simp, says Primot. Harry Maguire, a.k.a. the Melt. Yeah, he's got to go. So we're hoping soon Harry Maguire can be a target for another team, i.e. West Ham United could well go in for him. Lots of factors about that as well, guys. Will he go? Won't he go? Will he want to stay? Is he prepared to stay and fight for his place in the team? Does he like the idea of playing for Man United, a Champions League standard side? Or does he like the idea of, going to play regular football at West Ham, who are not as good as a team? They're in the Europa League, though, which he's used to. You know what I mean? They're in the Europa League. They are playing European football. So he's used to that. Better than nothing, isn't it? And he will be a big player for them over there. And he'll play regularly, and he'll be able to get in the Champions, in the England European Championship side easily enough as well. Jarvis Cocker says, serious question. What's the lowest amount you would accept for Maguire? Okay, so when the news came out the other day from various sources, David Ornstein and Fabrizio Romano, that Manchester United had rejected a bid for Harry Maguire for £20 million. I was genuinely surprised that we'd rejected it. I know there's a lot of people saying we should be holding out for 40 million. Look at what players are going for. 40 million, 30 million. I mean, let me ask the chat, how much do you think Maguire is worth in this current climate? Let's ask the chat. But the reason I think Man United should have accepted that bid, or not accepted the first bid, nobody accepts the first bid, but to not ask for too much more than that, i.e. 25 million is what I think. 22 million even. A tiny bit more than what they've offered. Surely they'll be prepared to pay a little bit more than what they've offered. That was their first opening gambit of an offer. Surely they're prepared to pay a little bit more than that, but not a lot more than that. And the reasons for my thinking on that is that he's on huge money. If they are going to pay him the same amount of money that Man United pay him, they've got to factor that into a transfer fee. So therefore, you can't expect to get £40 million for Harry Maguire. If Harry Maguire was on 100 grand a week, he probably would be worth £40 million. He would be. But because he's on £200,000+ a week, you can't justify going to spend £40 million on a player like that and then have to pay him £200 million+ a week. It doesn't add up. So if it's a 4-year contract, 200 grand a week, that's £10 million a year. So you pay £30 million, say, for Maguire at the start for the transfer. Then you give him a 4-year contract and you're paying him £10 million a year. That is £70 million for an aging player who's a bit of a liability anyway, not even that great if you ask me, over a 4-year contract. £70 million you'd have to pay him because of his astronomical wages. So it doesn't add up. The only way that it makes sense to go and get him is if you're getting him for a reduced fee to begin with. Then you could maybe justify paying him a couple of £100,000 a week. His wages are what complicates the whole transfer fee issue. It is. So I think he's probably worth around about 22 million, 25 million pounds max. That's my humble opinion. If we got 30 million for him, that would be an absolute genius bit of business by Man United based on the fact that he's on so much money. United says he's worth 25, Stephen says 15, 40 says Sonny Igbeans, 25 says Adam, 20 says Sing Games, Dell says 20, 27.5 says Massey. Berber says if we get 30 million and save all those wages, it's a good deal. Oh, that would be an amazing deal. 30 million for Slabby and save 200 grand a week, 800k a month, 10 million a year would be an absolute steal of a piece of business from United, I agree. 30 says Stoic Savage, 30 says Gungshi, Maguire's worth 15 and 25, 15. Well, basically the reason I say that I think he's only worth I agree with you, Sing Games, 22 million. We should always try and ask for a little bit more than the first bid. But if West Ham are not prepared to come back for another offer, are we going to risk keeping Slabby Maguire 6th or 7th choice centre-back in the club when he's not even that good and he's on huge money and we're having to pay those wages? Would we risk doing that? It seems strange to think that we would rather, not sell him just for the sake of a few million quid. Seems silly. So if West Ham do not come back anytime soon with another offer for Harry Maguire, a slightly improved offer, we should go back and knock on their door with our tail between our legs and say, yeah, go on then. We'll take that 20 million quid for the guy. Because otherwise, what are we going to do? We demand 30 million, say, and then refuse to sell him and then stick with him and he's here for another few years and he's being paid hundreds of thousands of pounds a week. It makes no sense. We need to cash in. So honestly, I'd sell him for 20, but I understand the club rejecting it to try and maybe get a bit more. Of course, we've got to negotiate. Of course, we've got to try and get more money, but I'd sell him for 20 million, to be honest. I really would. Get him off the books, move him on, get the new players in that we can with the money. Getting rid of a player like Harry Maguire opens up the small possibility of us getting somebody like Kane. Not just him, but if we sold him and Fred and McTominay and Martial and some of these players that are overhyped and are on big money at the football club, we could easily justify getting Harry Kane maybe before the end of the season. Should have accepted the first bid, says Mikhail. Take anything you can, says Primal. That's kind of how I feel. So we might have done ourselves dirty here if West Ham do not come back in for another offer for West Ham. We would have, for Harry, sorry. We would have had a nightmare to not get him gone. That's what I'm saying. I think we would have had a nightmare. So I hope he goes for £25 million. But if we can't get £25 million, then we should accept 20 million for him. Yeah, we'll get 20 million minimum if we're lucky for McSauce. Well, I think we'll get more money for McTominay, actually, if we were to sell McTominay. Big ifs, ands or buts about whether or not we'll sell because of the whole midfield issues that we've got. We might have AMRABAT coming in, but even so, we probably are going to sell one of those midfielders, Donny, Fred or McTominay. We might not sell a couple of them, though, because we need the depth, don't we? And at this moment in time, if you had a couple of injury issues, we've got Kobbie Mainoo out injured. If we have a couple of injury issues, the depth may not be quite there. So I'm not so sure if we even will see Donny, McTominay and Fred Sol. Maybe one or maybe two of them. But in regards to McTominay, I think he's worth more than Maguire. I think McTominay's worth more than Maguire. Not because he's a better player than Maguire, but because he's younger and because he's on less money per week. So therefore, it's justifiable for him to go for more money. I think we could get £30 million for Scott McTominay, whereas I don't think we could get £30 million for Maguire because of how much money he's on and his age as well. Not that that's really old. 30 is still young for a centre-back. He could certainly have a good few years at the top still. I say at the top, but I mean at the top of his game, which is still shite. But McTominay probably worth more money than Maguire. So I think we should try and get 30 million for Scott McTominay. That's what I think. How much do you think McTominay's worth, folks? United says he's worth 30. I think McTominay is worth £30 million because of his age and, especially to West Ham, who are trying to replace a Declan Rice type player, they can see the value in Scott McTominay right now, surely. It's a cheap option for them to go and replace somebody like Declan Rice. Buy one, get one free. I said you buy one, you get one free. I said you buy one, you get one free. For every Slabby Maguire you buy, you get a Scott McTominay absolutely free. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely, I like that idea. Get them off. £1 fish, get them gone. Get them gone. Oh, 30 million says Mounts, 30 million says Kieran. 30 million says Neil Walker, 30 million says Templar Priest, 40 says the special one, 30 says Alan, 30 says Chris, 47 says Thugger. By the way, guys, 300 legends in here right now. Thank you for joining. Guys, hit the subscribe button if you're new. We're nearly at 72,700 subscribers. We're approaching 73k subs on YouTube. Do hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Get yourself involved. We're on here daily with the United news and nightly as well. We do an evening show about 10 p.m. covering all the evening's transfer news. We haven't even got into the Sofyan Amrabat stuff yet. We've been rambling on here. We'll do that in a minute. But make sure you get yourself involved by smashing that like button as well. That helps the channel out. And subscribe to the channel. Bruce says, you think we'll get Greenwood back? Okay, well, we've talked about some of the players we can sell. We've talked about the Kane possibility, which is very, very unlikely, but you never know. We've talked about the performances from the players last night in the game. Let's talk about Greenwood real quick. So there is some reports about Mason Greenwood coming out today about some of this sort of the timeline of the verdict of Manchester United's internal investigation, etc. That could be coming very, very soon. And this is basically the situation. So many outlets reporting that Manchester United will soon announce what's going on with Mason Greenwood. So James Ducker from the Telegraph here reporting that Man United tour diary, Mason Greenwood verdict within a fortnight. So, you know, he thinks that we'll have an answer in regards to Mason Greenwood within the next 2 weeks. Also, Fabrizio Romano has said the same. He's also said that, guys. He said in regards to Mason Greenwood that Man United are expected to announce a decision regarding Mason Greenwood's future for the opening of the Premier League game of the season on August 14th. It's only up to the club. Eric Ten Hag will not be responsible for any decision. He will discuss Greenwood's future right after the club. So it does sound like within the next 2 weeks before the start of the Premier League campaign, we will have an idea of what's going on with Mason Greenwood. This is obviously big news. It means that perhaps we will have him in the side, or maybe they'll announce that he's been terminated. I doubt that. I doubt that entirely. And I also think that just this wording from Fabrizio is something that, you know, we will get used to seeing if Mason Greenwood does stay. It's not Ten Hag's decision necessarily. It's the clubs that may be taking that responsibility away from Ten Hag for various reasons. Firstly, it shouldn't really be anything to do with Ten Hag in the sense of if he's just managing the side from a footballing point of view. Yes, he might not want to have somebody in there that can disrupt, but essentially it's above him, isn't it? This whole decision, it's above him. It's a Man United board decision. It's a decision that can impact sponsors, the club, the fan base, how people view the club. So it's not just as simple as, oh, this guy's a great footballer, which he is, by the way. We should bring him back. It's not quite as simple and as clear cut as that. So it seems like it's above Eric Ten Hag, this. I'm sure maybe Eric Ten Hag has a say in the sense of, oh, you know, does he actually even want him back? Surely he has to have that conversation with the United higher ups to say, you know, get rid, or yes, we want him back. But essentially it is a decision that's above Eric Ten Hag. So we'll find out soon enough what goes on there. But yeah, I mean, it's so difficult, isn't it? Do you give this guy another chance? He seems like a wrong un. The audio clip makes him seem like a wrong un, but he's never faced any trial. He's still with the lady in question. These allegations obviously were made against him, and he was arrested and then further arrested and arrested on suspicions of threats to kill and all the rest of it. Not a good look for Manchester United from a PR standpoint. But from a footballing standpoint, he would help us out, I believe. Now, maybe he would disrupt a little bit, as I say, but in terms of his actual footballing ability, crikey, if he was playing over the last year and this never happened and he was playing instead of Anthony, I'm sure he probably would have had a better season than Anthony on that right side. And for a fact, I can say this, if he was playing instead of Wout Weghorst up the top of the pitch for Man United in a striking position, he would have done a lot better than Wout Weghorst. That's the level of player that he is. He's a quality player and he's only 21. So it's very frustrating what's happened with Mason Greenwood, obviously, at his time at United here, because we know that he's a super talented player and he would make United better from a footballing standpoint. But I have to take the stance from my own individual point of view, rightly or wrongly, whether you disagree with me or not, that he's just too much trouble. He's too much trouble. The backlash, the PR guff that would be facing Manchester United, the media shitstorm surrounding bringing Mason Greenwood back. I don't think it's worth it. I don't think it's worth it. I don't think it's worth it to upset the squad harmony at Manchester United. I don't think it's worth it to, to annoy certain players in the team, because not everyone will view Mason Greenwood as a key player that they need to bring back. Not everyone will have that opinion. So he's a wonderful player. He could play as a striker for us. He could play as a right winger for us. He's a super talented player, and he would make Manchester United better from a footballing standpoint. But is it all about that, though? Isn't it also about making decisions based on what's the right thing to do? And I'm not so sure what the right thing to do is, to be fair. This is really not a simple scenario. I mean, people make mistakes. Sometimes the mistakes are too big to make to just be forgiven for. Should he get another second chance? That's the thing. I mean, do you just throw him on the scrap heap of life? That's the thing. He's a young lad. Maybe he made a mistake, but just from what we've heard from the audio clip, etc., he sounds like a straight wrong'un, So how do you come back from that? Do you even deserve a second chance if you're that sort of piece of shit? Just to say it openly and honestly, that's how I view it. I don't know. Who knows? I'm not the judge and executioner. I'm just saying, Judge, Joy and executioner, it's not for me to say, really. But in my opinion, he probably should try and be sold. We should probably try and get the money for him. He's not going to be worth what he's worth last year, but certainly we should try and get some cash for him and just sell him on. That way we get money we can put towards Harry Kane. I'd rather us sell, Mason Greenwood for a cheapo price of £30 million, sell Slabber Maguire, sell McTominay, and go and buy Harry Kane. At least then we're getting somebody who's not a potential dirtbag. So Greenwood is a great player, but if we could sell him and get some money for him to, a Saudi Arabian team or something, then I'd probably rather do that. Get some cash. They'd be getting a super cheap player, by the way, for somebody that he actually is, for the player that he actually is. He would be an immense player for 30 or 40 million pounds. Like, you can't get a better player who's that young and has the potential to go on and do good things for 30 million pounds. But you might be able to get him for 30 million pounds at this stage. If you're a team in a different league, maybe the pressure from the media, etc., won't be as strong as it would be in this country either, and the fan bases, etc. So maybe it actually does make sense for a different team abroad to go and sign him. And if Man United could generate £30 million, get his wages off the books, go and sell Maguire, go and sell McTominay, go and reinvest that in Harry Kane, I would do that. Smash a 1 if you agree to sell him and to try and go and sign, maybe somebody else. Smash a 1 if you agree. Or smash a 2 in the live chat, peeps, if you think that it makes more sense to reintroduce him back into the side, to utilise this homegrown player, and to forgive and forget. Smash a 2 if you think we should give him another chance. Adam says agree. Keep says Brian. 1 says the Hoot Man. You agree, says Rajat. Batman agrees. Keep him 100% unless he's done jail and got charged. Fair enough, DBR. 1 says Aaron. 1 says Mikhail. 1 says Johnny. Mason Greenwood's worth 100 million. He is actually. But he's not worth 100 million because of what's happened. He was worth 100 million before this, but he's not anymore. Sonny says 2, keep him. Lots of people saying keep him. Templar says get rid. Chris Koo says keep him. Cash in says Neil, keep him. Says Mohammed and Rajat and Obisi. Keep but loan says Craw. 2 when he has plastic surgery says Matty. United says keep him. Dell says get rid. Ryan says get rid. Benny says get rid. Abdi Curry says keep him. See, it's so split in the live chat, isn't it? Berber says get rid. Keep him, get rid, keep him. It's so split in the chat. And this is what it's going to be like within United's hierarchy. Some of them will go, this isn't worth the hassle, this isn't worth the trouble. And others will say, he's so talented, he's a United Academy product, we've got to keep him. Greenwood's worth 130 million, but the baggage cuts his price in at least half, I think. Send him to Saudi, says the big guy. Loan him and bring him back. That could maybe work. Get rid of some of the initial backlash and take the time to maybe give him a chance in the future. Gungshi says get rid. OG says keep him, says Luke, keep him, says Sonny. It's very split in the live chat. But anyway, I don't like talking about Greenwood because it's annoying. And my opinions are we should get rid. So I'd cash in and sell him and get the money if we can. Because of the nightmare surrounding him. That's all it is. That's all it is. It's just allegations. You can't actually prove Mason Greenwood is guilty one way or the other. There's audio and there's suggestive pictures, but that doesn't prove that he did anything wrong, right? That doesn't actually prove that he did anything wrong. You can surmise that he did something wrong from that audio, which, let's face it, it is very, very damning. And to me, it paints him as a real wrong'un. But it doesn't actually prove it. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't prove it at all. And he never faced trial due to the witnesses not being prepared, or the witness, I should say, not being prepared, aka his missus, to go down that route. So he was never going to get charged. So he never stood trial. So he was never found guilty. So it is a bit of a strange scenario. There's no easy answer for this scenario. There really isn't. But he was also never found innocent. I do recognise his voice, Professor. I do recognise his voice. But it's not only that, is it? It's not just recognising his voice. It's the fact that who leaked that? Who leaked that? It wasn't a randomer online who leaked it. Anyway. Yeah, I agree, Sin Games. Millions suffer in abusive relationships. It's not okay. Yeah, I'm with you, but I do share that stance as well. Pig, it's ironic the announcement came out the same day United announced Adidas deal. He's gone. Yeah, I guess so. So we heard the other day the Sun, aka the Scum, were reporting that maybe Adidas wouldn't want Mason Greenwood back in the squad and all this malarkey because of what's going on there. But then I believe that they had a spokesperson release a statement that said that they've never had those conversations and that they would never sort of advise Manchester United on that. Yeah, I do think it's kind of funny. Obviously, Man United have now established this new, or not the new partnership, but the continued partnership with Adidas, and it's due to make us 900 million euros, guys. 900 million pounds. Let me get that up on screen. 900 million pounds, the Adidas deal. And I do think it is kind of interesting this has come out on the same day as well. So you're right, a little bit strange. Will Mason Greenwood stay? Will he go? Time will tell. We've apparently got a time frame now. At least we should know by the start of the season, hopefully, as Fabrizio and a couple of other different top-tier sources have said. The decision is expected by Manchester United to be announced regarding Mason Greenwood's future by the opening of the Premier League season. So by the 14th of August, which is only 2 weeks away, we should know what's going on with Mason Greenwood, whether they've decided to terminate the deal and let him go as a free agent, whether they've decided to try and sell him and get some cash back for their academy product, or whether they've decided to keep him in the side. As I said, from a footballing standpoint, he's definitely good enough and definitely would make Manchester United better. But from a PR standpoint, he's a nightmare. So who knows what United will decide? Their internal investigation is not yet finished. And they obviously haven't reached a conclusion yet as to what's the best thing to do. Otherwise, they'd have probably addressed it before the start of the season. You know, it's 14 days of the season. You don't want to really be talking about that stuff the day of the season starting. You want to talk about that stuff early on and get it out the way. So they still haven't decided what's best to do. Yeah, exactly, Matthew Smith. See, we've signed a new 10-year deal with Adidas worth 90 million a year. Precisely. We've got that Adidas money coming. Okay. So, yes, we can now buy Adidas Kane. Well, there you go, Templar Priest. So it's an interesting quote there from you. And and I think there's some basis to that because of this Adidas deal and the money coming in. Let's just talk. Right, okay, we're going to do a rundown of what we've discussed in this video today, guys, now. Oh, actually, sorry, I've got to talk about AMRABAT very quickly, and then we'll do a rundown. Guys, keep hitting that smash of the like button, drop the thumbs ups, subscribe if you're new. Do go over to Twitter at the top of the live chat there and give us a retweet. We'll shout everyone out in a few minutes' time who's given us a retweet over there, so please do that. And I'm just going to do a rundown, but before, I'm just going to talk about AMRABAT. We haven't even gotten to AMRABAT today, guys. Crikey. So, the AMRABAT latest is just really that United are still in the same position where we are getting ready to press for Sofyan Amrabat, trying to sign him from Fiorentina. We're expected to go in with a bid soon. And here's a report from Sports Witness that says it's Sofyan Amrabat, Manchester United pressing for the signing at £25 million. Fiorentina want £30 million, but would accept €25 million plus bonuses. Therefore, it would appear Man United are just bonuses away. That's what they say. Also, another report here that says that United are, pressing to get Sofyan Amrabat to Manchester United. This is from Gazzetta in Italy that says that new Manchester United are pressing to sign Sofyan Amrabat for £25 million, while Fiorentina originally wanted 30. It's the same statement. It's just from a different outlet. But basically, all I'm saying is lots of different outlets are reporting that United are pressing for the Sofyan Amrabat signing. And we are trying to bring him in soon. And obviously, the idea was to get Hojlund over the line, maybe sell one or two midfielders like Fred, and then go and get Sofyan Amrabat. So it seems like he is definitely on the agenda for Manchester United to bring in very soon. Hopefully, within a week, we could have some sort of agreement in place there. But it does depend, obviously, on the teams agreeing that fee. So at the moment, nothing much has changed there with Sofyan Amrabat, apart from we are expected to go in and table an official bid for him soon enough. Hasn't happened just yet. There's been talks, but there's been no verbal offer and no written offer for Sofyan Amrabat just yet. But he is high on the agenda, and he's understood to be very keen on joining Manchester United. So Fabrizio Romano speaking, and he said that Sofyan Amrabat is his priority is Manchester United. He would love to join the club. So that is what Fabrizio Romano says on the matter, that Sofyan Amrabat would love to join the club. We've understandably heard that he's agreed to join Manchester United should we go and be able to get a deal done with Fiorentina. So that's the situation. We're just waiting for a bid to go in to Fiorentina, and then hopefully it can be done for approximately 30 to 35 million euros, which would be a steal for this guy, and he would bring a good level of quality to Manchester United's midfield when you consider some of the hot potato merchants we've got in the midfield at the moment, like McTominay and Fred. So looking forward to seeing that news prosper, guys. Give it a couple of days, maybe even tonight, tomorrow, who knows. We might see a little bit more in regards to Sofyan Amrabat, but that is the latest. Not too much movement, just the same scenario. He wants to come to United. We're pressing for him, and we will go in and make a bid or a written offer very, very soon. That's great news. And also there are expected to be further additions, and this includes Sofyan Amrabat. So here's a report from Samuel Luckhurst that just says United are open to making further additions to the squad as they finalise the signing of Rasmus Hojlund. So Rasmus Hojlund, they just in regards to the medical, pretty quiet on that front today, actually. Quiet on the medical front. We're expecting maybe he would be flying in today, flying in tomorrow for the medical. Haven't seen anything of the sort just as of yet, but it's understood obviously this week sometime he will conduct his medical at Manchester United and then sign the paperwork, finalise the details and become a Manchester United player. So, you know, don't worry about that, but it's not going to be today, I don't think. It doesn't look like it will be today that the medical is. Hopefully tomorrow, but sometime this week Rasmus Hojlund will be flown in and will have his medical. And, you know, but it's quiet on the medical front at this moment in time. There is no extra news about when that will be. There's no scheduled medical. There is no time. We haven't heard from any of the tier 1 journos or anything that they've got wind of the medical at a certain time. So we're just waiting on the medical front as well for Rasmus Hojlund. But once that's done, that's when we'll turn our attentions to Sofyan Amrabat. And also once we sold a player or two, it's expected that that will be the case. Right, let's just have a rundown of what we've discussed. Then I'm going to get into the Twitter. Then I'm going to get into the live chat as well. So, very quickly, United have reached an agreement with Adidas for a 10-year deal worth £900 million. And Richard Arnold says the relationship between Man United and Adidas is one of the most iconic in world sport, forged through a shared commitment to style, flair, and most importantly, high performance. And here it is, guys, another confirmation of the amount of money. £900 million guaranteed is United's new agreement with Adidas. So pretty exceptional amount of money we can get in there. It adds fuel to the fire for maybe Manchester United going and trying for Harry Kane before the end of the summer transfer window. So at this moment, we know that Bayern Munich are having those discussions with Harry Kane with Spurs. Here's a report here that says that Bayern CEO Jan Christian Driesen and Marco Neppi, technical director, are now on the way to London for negotiations. Bayern want to make the transfer of Harry Kane perfect with Tottenham boss Daniel Levy. So they're still trying, obviously, and at this moment United haven't opened up any dialogue with Spurs for Harry Kane, but the Adidas money does make us think maybe we could go in and try and sign him. It depends. The Greenwood stuff we just talked about. I'm not going to talk about that now because we just talked about that, but United are expecting a verdict by the 14th of August. Garnacho and Varane were left out of the game last night due to just a precaution, basically. Also, Ten Hag quotes on Sancho. He said that Sancho's in a very good vibe at the moment. He's expecting big things from Sancho this season. And then Ten Hag on the Harry Kane scenario. This is what really adds fuel to the fire for us signing Harry Kane, maybe, which is still unlikely, but this adds extra little bit of impetus to us maybe going in for him. Harry Kane, this is what Ten Hag said about him. He said, I have huge respect because he's a great striker, one of the best ever. Maybe he can even be the best striker ever in the Premier League. And the only way he's going to do that is if he stays in the Premier League. And it's just alluding to the fact maybe that Ten Hag wants Harry Kane. So we wondered whether or not Ten Hag wanted Harry Kane. Obviously, he's got mad respect for him and really rates him. How could you not? He's a very intelligent quality player, 30 goals last season. Yeah, Hojlund might be better presser, and faster and that kind of thing, but nobody can deny Kane's movement, intelligence, finishing prowess. So surely, given an ideal scenario, we'd get both Hojlund and Kane. So, Ten Hag on Harry Kane, very, very positive quotes there coming from Erik Ten Hag. And then also, he was quoted as talking about transfers and the transfer setup and everything. And this is what Harry Kane said. Sorry. This is what Erik Ten Hag said about the transfers. This is via Laurie Whitwell. Ten Hag on transfers. He said, I'm totally involved, but you have seen all the investments which other clubs are making. You can't compete in the Premier League for the top positions when you don't invest in your squad. So it seems like he's saying all the right things that maybe insinuate we're going to spend significant amounts more this summer. We've already spent a lot, which is great, but we need to spend more. Harry Kane coming to the club would be an absolute dream, and it would give us the platform to maybe build on for a title challenge this season, which I don't think we can say unless we were to get Harry Kane and Hojlund. Unless we get both of them, I don't think we can realistically be confident of a title challenge. But I tell you this now, if Man United were to sign Kane and Hojlund, AMRABAT, Mount, Onana, I would feel deep down tingling sensation in my loins that maybe, just maybe, we could mount a title challenge, my friends. And that's the difference. Ambition. We need ambition. We need Kane. Go and get him, guys. Go and get Harry Kane. And then finally, Andre Onana, great performance in the second half last night. And he was spoken to after the game, and he was talking about that incident where he shouted at Maguire. And I love the way that he dealt with Maguire after Maguire made a big mistake in the second half and almost cost us conceding a goal. And Onana's gone and barked in his face, a la Peter Schmeichel. And Andre Onana said on shouting at Maguire, he said, I tried to talk to them a lot because I know he's a good player. He's one of the captains of the team. That's big and it's good with the ball. So I would demand from him a lot, and he's a great guy. So Onana already laying the smackdown on the back line, trying to get them to play better and not be so damn stupid. So I love to see that from Andre Onana anyway. That's the latest updates, guys. I'm going to go over to Twitter now. Thank you, everyone, for getting in here. Once again, smash the like button. It helps out. Drop a subscribe if you're new to the channel. And wait a second for the Q&A because we're going to get your thoughts and opinions read out here. But for now, I'm just going to go over to Twitter and shout everyone out over on Twitter. Thank you already to everybody that's already done that. We got 18 retweets over on the twits. Thank you, guys. I appreciate that very much. Let's have a little look and see and shout you all out who's retweeted us. Michael Paul. Thank you very much, Michael Paul. Ryan Berberspin9, a.k.a. the Gaming Simp. Aaron Homeyard. Boomy. Oman Abdullah. Kieran. John Boy Cat. Kendo. The Butcher of Manchester. Sin Games. Jaden. Rugmuncher 007. CZ Bam. The Mario 55. Richard Wisterpack. Feline Fur. Billy. Lee Hope. And United Mark. Thank you, legends, very much indeed there for giving us a retweet. It does help us out. You can always also give us a follow on Twitter at Flying Pig United. Also on Instagram, Flying Pig United. Facebook, Flying Pig United. Everywhere, Flying Pig United. Give us a follow up, guys. Thank you to the 19 retweeters there. That is much appreciated. Now it's time for the Q&A, guys, for 5-10 minutes. We're going to get in there. Thank you, Brian Foskett. Yes, this is live, Barbara Faye. Kane's demand is unrealistic, Piggy. We don't need him. What do you mean his demand is unrealistic? Are you believing that shithouse bullshit story he wants 575k a week? That's pure guff, mate. Don't believe that bullshit. That's not the case. He would come for 375, 400k a week. No doubt. No doubt in my mind. He's not expecting 575k. That's not real. That's not a legit story. It may have been out there in the media, but it's a rubbish publication that said it, mate. It's bullshit. That's not real. He doesn't demand that. Trust me. He wouldn't expect to receive 575 grand a week. That's mental. Bayern certainly would not be paying him anywhere near that, lad. So, you know, he wouldn't expect to get that from Manchester United either. 400 grand a week maximum is what he would get. Probably less than that. Probably less than that if we're being honest. So I don't think he would demand that from United at all. There is a lot of money involved in the Harry Kane deal. You have to give Spurs £100 million probably. You also have to pay him nearly 400 grand a week for a few years at least. Probably would want a 4-year contract. So, but he stands to make more money going to Manchester United than he does going to Bayern Munich, I think. He'll come for 350 a week, says United 90, probably in that region. Yeah, Bayern don't pay crazy wages. He'll get 250 at Bayern, says Ryan. Well, there you go. They don't pay big dough. So he won't get anywhere near as much at Bayern as he would do at Man United, which adds more fuel to the flame that maybe he would come to United. We need cover for centre-back. Yeah, you're probably right, lad. You're probably right. Well, sell Harry Maguire, go and get a good young prospect of a defender. That sounds good to me. Yeah, Ten Hag, absolutely. Ten Hag emoji. Get in there, Rajat. Glazer signing, well, he is a Glazer signing, but who wouldn't want Harry Kane? I mean, Harry Kane and Hojlund up top there gives us pure firepower. It would be amazing. EPL got money, says Rajat. Shaw was not great last night, but I think he did have a good season last season. What we have to remember as well is it is pre-season and these players are not in their best of form. They're not sharp at the moment. Look at how United started the actual Premier League campaign last season. With a few losses, etc. And then we started to get things together. Hopefully, this is getting the losses out of the system and we're learning things. And let's face it, Ten Hag didn't play the best teams over the course of the last few games, apart from that Real Madrid game. We've lost 3 in a row, though, and it is a bad pre-season. I don't think we can get away from that. It's one of the worst pre-seasons we've seen in terms of just the performances and the inconsistencies and the sloppy play and the defending and the errors and not having enough going forward. And, you know, but we're slowly working on things. We're getting Rasmus Hojlund in. Hopefully AMRABAT's coming in. And sooner or later, things will start clicking and firing. People like Rashford had a poor game last night, but we know what a good player he is. We know it will start clicking and firing for him at some point soon. And he will start to play a lot better. You know, it's not, and obviously he needs to be coached to have that selfishness taken away from him. But certainly, you know, that's the case. Paula says, Pig, why didn't someone shout at Onana 2 games ago when he himself cost us a goal coming off his line too soon? No, it was offside, but the goal stood. People moan at De Gea that don't come off his line. Okay, probably because Onana had been there for 5 minutes, and you know, it's his style. You know, it was a world-class chip to beat him. He could have stopped that opportunity by rushing out there. And also, I think that, you know, it's not just solely his fault. The communication's an issue there. He's only just come in. Martinez had that covered. Yes, he should have stayed back on his line in hindsight, right? Hindsight's a wonderful thing. But with the communication, with the understanding that he receives from actually playing with the back line and playing games and working on things in training, etc., he will understand that, you know, Martinez had that covered. And he won't rush out next time like that in the same capacity. But I think as a goalkeeper, you know, he's judged that situation slightly wrong. But as you just said, it was offside and it wouldn't have counted in the Premier League. It would have been ruled out. So it was offside, so it actually shouldn't have been a goal. So we're talking about him like he's made a mistake for a goal. Well, it wasn't a goal. It was given as a goal because it was a friendly and there's no VAR, but it wasn't actually a goal. So, but even so, the chip was sensational and it was very, you know, he's rushed out to try and close down the angle. That's what he's supposed to do. You know, that's what he's supposed to do. But, yeah, I mean, obviously Martinez was there, maybe had it covered in hindsight. If it was De Gea, he definitely would not have rushed out like that, and he may have saved it. Or, instead of a chip, Bellingham just lashes it top corner instead. Who knows? Thank you very much, Gungshi. So smash a like for the pig and get us to 200 likes. Thank you, Gungshi. How many are we on right now? Let's have a little look-see. We're currently on 192 likes, guys. We're only 8 likes away. Thank you, Gungshi. Yeah, he did a little bit, Rajat V, but still, it doesn't say that he's going to instantly have that understanding with how United are doing things. Pre-season is about fitness and experimenting with new ideas. Spot on, well said, Eamon. Yeah, exactly, must play. It's only pre-season. Let's get these errors out of the way. Let's learn some things. You do learn more from your defeats than you do your victories. Absolutely Batman Knight fan. Hopefully those guys are sold soon. Great to see Kane with the 21 with United and text Child and say, look what I've got. No, we can't afford to start poorly in the Premier League. I agree, but, you know, let's hopefully get this out of the way. We've still got 2 games before the Premier League starts to work on some things. Kevin Kilban says, I hate Maguire. Remember when he came on at half-time against Seville, United were 2-0 up, drew 2-2, own goal by Slabby Donkey. Yeah, he's absolute shite. I agree with you, lad. Guff pre-season, but no biggie. Rashford being gash again. The Rash fraud train is on track. Unfortunately, he was pretty pathetic in that second half, yeah. Too selfish. They did play together, Rajat. They did play together, but, you know, still, though, you've got to get that understanding with United. We created good chances to score more goals. No clean sheet, though, says Paula Chin. We have been poor in pre-season, I agree with you. No doubt, Chris Barker. Definitely needs to step it up for the start of the season. And hopefully for the last 2 pre-season games, we see a much better display. Yes, mate, Adidas deals 90 million guaranteed a year, mate. Come on, absolutely beautiful. Maybe we can get Kane booming. We've talked about that a lot in this video already in regards to that deal as well. Maybe we can get it. Thank you, Stacey Rex says, I liked you from Sweden. Thank you for liking the video there, Stacey, and thanks for watching from Sweden, the home of Victor Lindelof. Let's be having you. He wasn't very good last night, was he? But I'm happy to have him as a backup in the team. Don't deserve good players. Our fans just love to slag them off. Nah, Ryan, everybody's entitled to their opinion. If these players play poor, we can say so. We beat the mighty Arsenal. Yes, we did. They're shite, though. Time to sell Sancho and Rashford, says Kingslayer. How far with AMRABAT? Same sort of position, really, after Kiro. We're waiting for United to go and submit an official bid or even a verbal offer. But he wants to come to United. And Man United are understandably turning our attentions to him now that the Hojlund deal is basically more or less done. So it shouldn't be too long until you hear a bit more of a movement from United there for AMRABAT. Kane, let's go and get him. Well, Berber, I mean, I think we did pretty well last season, all things considered. And a lot of the players did well. But we certainly still have a few players who are not good enough and a shite. That is true. Still, 5-6 players need to go, and we could do with getting 5-6 replacement ballers. That is still the case. Well, it's supposed to be £900 million over 10 years, so that works out at 90. I think it's 75 million. Oh, you've retracted your comment there, Shimian. Hey, thank you, Atakira. Says, love you from Uganda, mate. Much love from Uganda. Shout out to Uganda. Global channel here. We've got legends from Uganda and all over the world. Thank you very much for that, Atakiro, bro. No news on the Hojlund medical yet, bud. No, we're expecting it would have maybe been today or tomorrow, but at this moment in time, still no updates as to a booking or when it's been scheduled. Yeah, well, there you go, VJ Anand. Maybe with this Adidas deal now, we've got a bit more, plus players being sold. Maybe we've got a bit more. Who knows? Perhaps we could even spend 300 million and go and get Kane. Who knows? Kane and AMRABAT, plus who we've bought, would take our spend into around about 300 million. But if we sold 100 million pounds worth of players, then it would only be a net spend of 200 million. So that could be done. We got 200 likes, guys. Break out the red panties. Love it. Thank you so much, guys. Yeah, there you go. Ali, Evren, we do need a world-class defender, midfielder, and established striker. Completely agree with you, bud. If we got Kane, if we get AMRABAT in and maybe another good centre-back, we should be pretty well set for the season. But we're not there yet. Not there yet. Gattuso, most of our players aren't shite. Most of them are really good, but there's a few shite ones, let's be honest. McTominay, Fred, Maguire, Martial, all pretenders, all hangers-on, all need to be sold. Kane will be RVP 2.0. Get in there, my son. If we're in the UCL next season, it'll be 105 million because of UCL bonus. There you go, exactly. Stephen Shipman, let's be having you, son. I do think we'll win the next home game against Lens. Yes, I do. Not putting pressure on him, but Hojlund will bag a hat-trick on his debut. Love that confidence. My views on Varane. He's a brilliant player, but yes, like you say, he's not going to play all of the time. He just needs to be used whenever he's fit. Whenever he's fit, he's our best option, let's be fair. It would be nice to go and get somebody else who's always fit and just as good, but those players, those quality of players don't come around that often, you know? He's worth playing when he's fit, but he's not going to be fit all the time. It's just one of those. Do you have to be wearing them, or can you just have them hanging off your computer, Mike Pigs, this case later? Do you have to be wearing them? What are we... Oh, the red panties! Each to their own. Whatever you feel fit there, case later, man. I'm not going to judge. Right, guys. I'm going to wrap this video up, guys. We've been on here an hour and 20 minutes. There's the end of the show. But thank you so much for getting in here. You are right, it's a lot of money, but that could prove to be not that much in the future if he progresses as we hope he will. I'm going to wrap this stream up, guys. There's the latest news. Maybe a little hint from Kane for maybe us going in for Harry Kane from Ten Hag. The comments there. So there you go. I'm still holding out a little bit of hope we could go for him. There's the reaction to the Dortmund game last night. Also the latest on AMRABAT and the Hojlund situation. And that's about it, guys. There's the latest transfer news, peeps. Really appreciate you all watching and getting in here. Great chat as always. Thank you, Gug Jesus. Cheers, Pig. Great stream as always. Thank you very much, you absolute don. Thank you, everyone, for watching and getting involved. All these legends on the screen right here. Have a great day, everybody. You can come back after this video is finished and get your thoughts and opinions in about anything we've discussed in this video. Come back after and have your say on Greenwood. Have your say on Rashford's performance last night. Onana. Donny van der Beek. Whatever, you know, Hojlund, AMRABAT, come back and have your say and give us your thoughts and opinions. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Absolute legends you are, all of you. Thanks for joining. Thank you, The Hoop Man. I appreciate you guys. Great chat as always. Great banter. Appreciate you legends getting in. Smash a like on the video before you go. Smash the subscribe button if you're new. We're going to be back on here tonight around 10 p.m. with the evening transfer news show. So make sure you come and join us at 10 o'clock. Thank you, Gregory Burks. It's a darn good show today, Piggy. Thank you, Gregory. Thank you, everyone, for watching. There's the latest United news. God bless you all. Thank you to all the moderators like Berber, Gangshi, Makeu, The Hoop Man, and everybody else who's moderating the live chat there. And all the members in green, thank you for supporting the channel there and being channel members. I do really appreciate it. Everyone, have a great day. Thank you, Case Later, Mark N, and all the Dons and Donesses. That's it from me. Aaron, of course, as well. Absolutely, guys. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Twitch, and Kick at Flying Pig United. All the links are in the description. Subscribe, like, and comment. Come back after. Have your say. Follow the website, flyingpigunited.com. And I'll see you later on for the evening transfer news show. Get in there, you legends. Come on, United. And remember, Piggy loves you. And also remember, when the seagulls follow the troll, as this is because they think sardines will be thrown into the sea. Thank you very much.